We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. JoJo Siwa shined at Miami Beach Pride, drawing the largest audience ever. Reports say a staggering audience of 55,000 attended her performance.
Hawaii and California vote on same-sex marriage amendments. Hawaii's last constitutional amendment vote was in 2016.
This year's list is out, and it has some known and unknown LGBTQ plus icons from fashion to activism, honored for their impact, resilience, and leadership.
Kentucky GOP-led legislature ends session with all 10 anti-LGBTQ plus bills failing. National trend shows dwindling support for far-right measures.
DeSantis flip-flops on book bans from strict censorship to limiting challenges. But he blames liberals for what chaos? What's going on with Governor Don't Say Gay Ron?
Good evening and welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news. We're broadcasting live and available on demand. We're on all your smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news for Thursday, April 18th, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show. Literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ plus news, you will see it and you will hear it.
Hotspots Magazine, happening on Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community. Our mission? To support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, students, youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader community.
Let's begin by meeting tonight's anchors for Queer News Tonight. First, we welcome Christopher Gustafson of Gustafson Communications. Christopher is a leading publicity and PR brand manager for many well-known LGBTQ brands, including West Hollywood's Candace Cain television programs and Wilton Manor's It's Mary Productions. Christopher, Lit Bar is going to host Baking a Difference, the HRC fundraiser, on April 27th. Tell me what's happening.
Yes, this will be lots of fun. Bring your baked goods. Yeah, Baking a Difference. Saturday, April 27th at Lit Bar in Wilton Manors on the Drive. All proceeds will benefit the Human Rights Campaign of South Florida. It'll be obviously a bake sale. There'll be live music from DJ Marky Mark. There'll be Jello shots, the famous lit dunk tank. So come by. It's going to be fun. 3 to 7 p.m.
Oh, that sounds like a great time. You had me at DJ Marky Mark. I love him.
You had me at Dunk Tank.
All right. Next, let's welcome Yvonne Rohrbacher, a resident of Fort Lauderdale for 35 years. She is a two-time honoree in SFGN Out SFL Esteemed Out 50. Yvonne is the founding vice president of GLCCSF. She is also a board member at the Stonewall National Museum and Archives and a committee member at Lesbian Thespians. I love saying that. Yvonne, Skirt South Flow Magazine is having the launch party to celebrate South Florida Women's Magazine at Hunter's Nightclub on April 27th. Tell me what's happening.
Yes, you can clean up from Lit Bars. Awesome event. Eat your baked goods and then come on over. Laylee, Diane, and Pam from Skirt So Flow magazine are teaming up with Mark Hunter to throw a community party on April 27th from 6 to 9 at Hunter's on Wilton Drive to celebrate Skirt So Flow magazine's print issue, which has been out for a couple of months now. And we invite everyone to join us in celebrating this elevation of lesbian publication.
Excellent. Go out and pick up a copy today.
Oh, yes.
Let's welcome Gregg Shapiro, an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is the author of 2 short story collections and 7 books of poetry. He's an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of print and online publications. Gregg, our friend Jeff Oliverio and Tony Mendoza are hosting a Hollywood Happening, a fundraiser for SAVE and the National LGBTQ+ Task Force, April 28th. Tell me what's happening.
Not only is our friend, he's also one of our Queer News Tonight anchors,
Yes.
Jeff Oliverio, and his fabulous husband, Tony Mendoza. They're hosting a Hollywood Happening on April 28th, 5:30 p.m. It's a special joint fundraiser in support of SAVE and the National LGBTQ Task Force in their beautiful Hollywood home. Oh my God, it sounds so good. Promising great company, delicious refreshments and bites, and meaningful discussions about advancing the rights and well-being of the LGBTQ community. The event is limited to just 50 guests. So to reserve one of the limited spaces, visit save.lgbt/AHH. And of course, this fella right here is tonight's lead anchor, Dr. Tai Houser. He is a professor of English and Humanities at Broward College and teaches in the College of Business at Florida Atlantic University. He has served as visiting professor at colleges in Bolivia, Brazil, China, India, and Spain, and provides an international viewpoint. Tai, the South Florida Pride Concert Band will perform, instead of a speech impediment, May the 4th Be With You. Sounds like you do. The music of John Williams starring Pandora Box at Broward Center on, yes, May 4th. Tell me what's happening.
Not a Star Wars fan.
Yes, well, just like Pi Day, May the 4th has become a day that we can go geek out, and I love it. So the Pride Center Concert Band with Pandora Box, they're going to be performing John Williams' favorites from E.T. and Indiana Jones, but also Star Wars at the Broward Center. And they're also allowing us to geek out and do cosplay. They're asking you to dress up for the event. So check out the Broward Center website for more information and plan on coming out for May the 4th Be With You.
That sounds fun.
We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ+ community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points for the Queer News for Thursday, April 18th, 2024. First up this evening, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. JoJo Siwa, record audience at Miami Beach Pride, proves what's next for her. JoJo Siwa wowed the crowd at Miami Beach Pride, shattering audience records with her electric performance. The singer took the stage to the largest audience the Pride event has ever witnessed. While her claim of pioneering gay pop sparked some controversy among queer music fans, Siwa had no trouble captivating the masses with her hit single, Karma. Days before her stellar performance, Siwa clarified her earlier statement about inventing gay pop, telling Billboard that while she aimed to start a new music genre, she acknowledged artists like Lady Gaga and Miley Cyrus as pioneers in the field. In an interview with TMZ, she emphasized her desire to contribute to the genre's growth and visibility. On the Love Spirit Entertainment stage of Miami Beach Pride, Siwa unleashed her vibrant energy, singing, dancing, and dazzling the audience in her signature style. Some gay media outlets early suggest a staggering 55,000 attendees flocked to witness her groundbreaking performance, potentially setting a new record for the event. Organizers are yet to confirm the official count, and while the number is unlikely, all the way at 55,000, it's little doubt that Siwa made a major statement of her glowing love from the LGBTQ+ community. However, JoJo's official Instagram post says, quote, broke the record for Miami Pride attendance for a performance with an effing 50,000 of you in the crowd. My biggest audience ever as well, end quote. Everyone at Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network congratulates Miami Beach Pride. It shows that Florida, and with the events we are witnessing in this election year, that a pride celebration is critical for the next generation of LGBTQ plus rights. And I really like where that story ends. It's important that we maintain our prides, that we celebrate them every year. And I'm looking forward to the ones that are still forthcoming. But good on you, JoJo.
Yes.
I will tell you that on that same night, Madonna was performing in Texas, and the arena only holds 15,000 seats. So she performed for more people than Madonna that night.
That's a great kind of thing.
Pretty big.
First of all, I also love that we're still talking about Miami Beach Pride almost a week later. I mean, that really says something. It was
Sure.
quite an event. Second, I missed her performance, so can someone tell me if she's still wearing that effing bow in her hair?
She is not. As a matter of fact, I heard that she has put them away in a storage area.
Maybe I can borrow them. Yeah.
Go JoJo.
Go, JoJo.
Yes.
My grandnieces still wear theirs, though.
Do they,
Yes.
do they have her name on them or something?
They do. They look exactly like
God.
I'm sure she's made billions
Right.
from her JoJo Siwa hair bows.
I'm not sure what that is, but we'll go for it. We'll go for it. Christopher, help me survive here.
Sure. Next, let's queer up the USA view. California and Hawaii will decide same-sex marriage constitutional amendments. In November, voters in Hawaii and California will decide on constitutional amendments related to same-sex marriage following Nevada's lead from 2020. While California and Nevada will vote on repealing language defining marriage as between one man and one woman, Hawaii's amendment is unique. In 1998, Hawaii passed an amendment allowing the legislature to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples, but it didn't outright ban same-sex marriage. In 2013, Hawaii legalized same-sex marriage with the Hawaii Marriage Equality Act. Now a new amendment introduced as a House Bill 2802 aims to repeal the legislature's power to restrict marriage to opposite-sex couples, marked by a House vote of 43-6 on March 5th and a Senate vote of 41-1 this week. This amendment marks Hawaii's first certified ballot measure in 2024. Notably, all Senate Democrats and one Republican supported the amendment, reflecting shifting attitudes. The legislature may introduce more amendments before adjourning on May 3rd. Hawaii's last constitutional amendment vote was in 2016. With evolving views on marriage equality, Hawaii's decision in November could echo nationwide sentiments on same-sex marriage. I have to say, I had to read that story like 3 times because I think they just put amendments in there and they just circle around and they put them in different ways that you just say to yourself,
Right.
what do they actually mean? But all that said, I think we just really need to focus on our local governments, our state governments, our city governments, keep an eye on them, encourage everyone around you, all of our allies, to get out there and vote in November.
Absolutely. Voting is the important thing. I'm curious, though, the suggestion is Hawaii. Can we look at it as like a bellwether? Is it a good gauge to measure what's going on the continental United States?
Well, I mean, I think they were pretty early on. I remember that there were early marriages there. Mm-hmm. And so this seems kind of interesting. This is coming up. And California was also very early. Massachusetts and Iowa even were at the forefront of same-gender marriage. So I hope that this means that Hawaii and California will take that next step and vote in favor of the constitutional amendments for marriage. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because it's so far away. We often forget about Hawaii. I mean, I'm sure people love Hawaii, but it's sort of like the forgotten child. And yes, if something's happening in one of the states, it's an important thing.
And I just wish that they would just make it easier for you to understand these amendments. and not make them so complicated.
Yeah, law or legalese and legal speak is something that can really weigh you down.
And then you have the legislators that admit that they haven't read them or understood them really either, don't we? Probably especially here in Florida.
So one interesting thing, and I'm 99.9% sure I'm right about this, but and Greg, you're probably going to know the answer. The last remaining royal in Hawaii is a lesbian.
I think you are right. I
Yeah.
think that sounds right.
So that's why the royal family is dying out.
And do we know what position this royal is?
No gabies?
No, Gabe. As far as I know, I don't.
Oh,
I don't really know. I think she was a princess.
Princess?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Cool, Hawaiian princess.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Yvonne.
Wow. Well, next, let's queer up the USA view. Time magazine has announced the most influential LGBTQ plus celebrities and activists of 2024. Time magazine has unveiled its 2024 Time 100 list, including some LGBTQ plus luminaries shaping the world. From activism to entertainment, these trailblazers are catalysts for change in media, healthcare, law, politics, and the environment. Among the honorees are familiar faces and unsung heroes. This year's list showcases the diversity and the resilience of the LGBTQ plus community, underscoring its integral role in shaping our collective future. Here are the LGBTQ plus honorees of this year's Time 100 list. Coleman Domingo, a gay actor who got an Oscar nomination for portraying the gay activist Bayard Rustin. Elliot Page, his inspiring journey from actor to author as a transgender man and for promoting transgender visibility. Jonathan Anderson, an esteemed fashion designer leading J.W. Anderson and Lowe. Kelly Robinson, who's the president of the Human Rights Campaign and advocates for LGBTQ plus rights. Frank Mugisha, an Ugandan activist who's fighting for LGBTQ plus rights. Rosanna Flamer Caldera, a Sri Lankan advocate who's played an instrumental role in decriminalizing homosexuality in her country. Katsuhiko Hoashi, a Japanese professor who's not a queer himself, but has pioneered reproductive cell technology for same-sex couples to have them be able to have biological children in the near-distant future. Dominique Crenn, who's the first 3 Michelin-starred woman chef and advocates for female and climate-friendly farming. Last but not least, Ophelia Dahl, the co-founder of Partners in Health, providing high-tech healthcare for millions of impoverished worldwide. You can see the entire list of Time 100 at time.com. I have to wonder, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, how many LGBTQ plus people were on the Time 100 list, but we didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you know that we have had such accomplished people in our community for so many years. Isn't it fulfilling that we're finally able to identify them as such so that we have role models?
But you also wonder, even like some of them might have not been out at the time
Yeah.
that they were on the list. So as a long time and faithful Time subscriber, I used to get it when it was on stone tablets. I actually took the time, see what I did there? To count the number of LGBTQ folks included, and it's really impressive. I was thrilled to see Coleman Domingo and Elliot Page and Jonathan Anderson, Kelly Robinson, Dominique Crenn. Very cool people and many others, so congratulations.
Awesome. Yeah, it's such a great diverse list, and it's so important for us to understand what people are doing, our LGBTQ plus people are doing around the world in science, technology, fashion, art.
And again, the fact that they're able to be out and be on this list so that we can be proud of them, our younger generation can look up to them, is just really gratifying.
We have allies and also folks from Uganda, right? I mean, that's big with the human rights things going on in Uganda and Sri Lanka. So around the world, these are very powerhouse people.
Fantastic.
Go Time.
Yes. Next, let's queer up social justice. No Kentucky anti-LGBTQ plus bills passed. What happened? In a significant turn of events, the Kentucky General Assembly, dominated by Republicans, adjourned with all 10 bills targeting LGBTQ plus residents failing to pass. This comes amidst a national trend where GOP-led state legislatures are shying away from far-right sponsored measures. The attempts to attack the transgender community, once fervently pursued, appear to be losing momentum rapidly. Most voters, it seems, do not stand behind these recent discriminatory laws. Among the bills proposed in the Kentucky General Assembly were measures aimed at weakening local non-discrimination ordinances, restricting drag performances, and enabling doctors to refuse care to LGBTQ plus individuals, citing moral objections. These draconian proposals were met with staunch opposition from various quarters. Trey Grayson, former two-term Republican Secretary of State of Kentucky and lobbyist for Kentucky Competes, a coalition of LGBTQ supportive businesses, said, quote, "It's clear that the anti-LGBTQ agenda is starting to fail both in Kentucky and across the country. Rightfully so," end quote. Does this mean that there is a broader shift within the country towards inclusivity and equality? Are liberal values gaining more traction? Or are Republican states merely trying to turn down the heat by postponing actions on controversial and hateful legislation before the November election? Well, for now, this sounds like fantastic news. And I have to say that next time, I haven't been on a plane in almost 30 years. So next time I drive to Chicago to see my mother, I won't have to avoid going through Kentucky, which will save some time, off the long trip.
Won't it though?
I have a feeling that this is just a delay technique because they're seeing what's happening in Florida. They're seeing, everything's getting shot down under First Amendment, and they're saying, okay, let's not turn this into something big during an election season. But we'll see. I guess we just have to wait.
We'll see. Is right. We're all very gratified that things are starting to turn. The worm is starting to turn here in Florida. And I can only hope that it's influencing some other states to see what has happened here. And of course, as Ron DeSantis' reputation gets worse and worse, it'll just continue.
I will say though that I've spent quite a little bit of time in Kentucky, in Louisville, and if there is a southern state that I've been to that I think is going to be the first to kind of find progress, I think it would be there.
Well, don't they have a Democratic governor, right? Bashir is a Democrat?
Yes, I think so.
Great.
So, yeah.
Next, let's queer up social justice. Is Ron Don't Say Gay DeSantis working to dial back his hate-filled persona? Ronnie DeSantis, once a staunch advocate for book bans in Florida schools, is now conceding his ground. His failed presidential ambitions were built on anti-LGBTQ plus policies, notably targeting school libraries and parental rights. In 2022, DeSantis enacted a law enabling adults to challenge books without restriction, resulting in widespread turmoil. This academic year, Florida alone instigated 3,135 of the 4,349 school book bans across the nation, predominantly censoring titles addressing racial and LGBTQ plus themes. Recent reports from Clay County reveal a single individual challenging 40 books in one fell swoop, which underscores the magnitude of the issue. It seems DeSantis has finally woke up. Yep, I meant that with a pun. He's woke up in light of mounting pressure. He's reversed course on many issues. DeSantis signed a bill narrowing the law's scope, restricting families without an enrolled student to make one challenge per month within a school district. This marks a significant retreat from his previous hardline stance. Critics view this move as a belated acknowledgement of the chaos wrought by DeSantis' policies and a step towards protecting intellectual freedom in education. Most DeSantis' slate of hate, as coined by Equality Florida, is tied up in federal courts over free speech, the First Amendment, and other legal issues. But a leopard never changes his spots. DeSantis is shaking off the responsibility for failed policies. For example, by blaming these out-of-control book bans on liberal activists. In this case, he's blaming Chaz Stephen, Keeping the blame game aside, the truth is that DeSantis has got played, and his anti-LGBTQ plus bill has hit a roadblock. And that's exactly the point. He's losing. He's a loser.
100%.
And you know, he spent so much time saying that, oh, we weren't banning books, only to say, oh, we're banning too many books, or the book bans have gone out of control. Come on, Ron.
Won't take any responsibility. First Kentucky, now what's this fucky? Well, aren't we just lucky duckies?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I do enjoy watching him being made a fool of on the regular. Frankly, I don't trust him. I'm sure he has something sinister up his tattered sleeve. I'm sure he's just waiting to spring something new on us.
Well, and he's campaigning for Trump now, right?
Yeah.
Even though Trump kind of
made fun of
kicked
him.
him to the ground. Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Ron DeSanctimonious.
Yeah.
Yes, that's something like that. Tonight's broadcast is presented by the generous support of Visit Lauderdale. Everyone under the sun.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finish tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up the worldview. Indian political parties embrace LGBTQ+ rights in election agendas for the first time. India gears up for its monumental elections starting April 19th with a historic twist. For the first time, major political parties are pledging to extend marriage rights to same-sex couples. Indian National Congress vows to introduce a bill recognizing LGBTQ+ civil unions after broad consultation. Meanwhile, the Marxist Communist Party of India unveils a socialist agenda, including support for LGBTQ+ rights and amending the Transgender Persons Act. They plan to introduce a bill akin to the Special Marriage Act, offering legal recognition and protections. Brinda Karat of CPIM talked to Washington Blade about the current government's homophobic stance. Queer News Tonight will keep you updated on the LGBTQ+ developments in the world's largest democracy.
LGBTQ+ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up sports. WWE World Heavyweight Champ Damian Priest is the LGBTQ+ Undertaker. Damian Priest, the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, is causing a stir not just for his dramatic WrestleMania victory, but for an unexpected nickname, Bisexual Undertaker. Despite identifying as straight, fans have dubbed him with this moniker, which leaves even Priest surprised. Though the moniker is trending, its meaning remains a mystery, sparking discussions among wrestling enthusiasts on Reddit. According to one user, it's about a certain vibe, like a daddy vibe, that a Priest has. No queer WWE fan can deny that.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up entertainment. Liberace tribute show by David Maiocco at Sunshine, April 27th. Coming up at the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, David Maiocco's tribute to Liberace on April 27th. Maiocco, a virtuoso pianist, plays homage to the legendary showman Liberace with impeccable musical arrangements, costumes, and makeup. Liberace was the over-the-top gay stereotype of the 1960s and 70s. I can't believe he was gay. And Maiocco brings that camp to his performance. Critics nationwide are raving about Maiocco's uncanny impersonation and giving the show 2 thumbs up. So prepare to be amazed as Maiocco transports you to an era of glitz and glamour. Get your tickets now for this must-see event at the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, America's leading LGBTQ plus live entertainment series. For further information, visit sunshinecathedral.org.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up drag culture. Oh, here's who social media says is going to win Drag Race Season 16. This Friday, RuPaul's Drag Race Season 16 crowns its champion. Among top contenders, Nymphia Wynn, Plain Jane, and Safira Crystal. As fans rally their support, social media metrics reveal Nymphia leads with 166,000 likes on the show's official Instagram, followed by Plain Jane with 93,000 likes and Safira Crystal with 91,000 likes. While RuPaul's decision ultimately seals the fate, online engagement hints at fierce competition. Who will snatch the crown and claim the title of America's next drag superstar? The stage is set for a dazzling showdown. Insider bets side with Queer News Tonight. It's Nymphia Wynn. Watch MTV April 19th and we shall see.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up gaming. Pokémon community rallies behind trans ally Amoonguss amidst controversy. In gaming news, Amoonguss, the mushroom Pokémon, has unexpectedly become a symbol of trans rights after a prominent player used transphobic language. The emergence of trans-supportive Amoonguss memes has a frustrating yet intriguing backstory. A competitive Pokémon player, Neil Patel, 21, made transphobic remarks on Discord. He said, "Changing gender is a mental illness." After these remarks were brought to the notice by another player, Patel left YouTube and Pokémon, saying he served, quote, "no place in this community," end quote. This happened right after Patel's match against former world champion Wolf Glick at the Orlando Regional Championships. In this match, Glick's Amoonguss emerged victorious, and a tsunami of Amoonguss memes began in support of trans rights. That is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Are you, like most of America, part of our very large television audience watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support if our community is to grow. We must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor for tonight, Tai Houser, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Christopher Gustafson, Yvonne Rohrbacher, Gregg Shapiro, and myself, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. And to our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a very good night.
Good night.